Everyone joining us in person and everyone who's joining us on the live stream. As we take this time to come together, to feel that place of oneness and unity within our hearts. Sometimes that isn't always easy. Sometimes we just have to kind of let things go, like let the wind blow the leaves of distraction, of worry, of fear away long enough to return to that root, that deepest root of love and connection that really is wrapping around this whole world, whether or not we can see it or not. It is there. And in that spirit, we want to tell you, each of you, that you are loved.
Precious child, with love as boundless as the sea. My love for you is like a rose, unfolding love eternally. You are loved, my precious child. My love light shines in every star. You are loved. You are loved. You are loved. Precious child, for I am there to light your way. In times of joy and times of tears, I share your moments every day. You are guided, precious child, as you seek my voice within. For you are loved, you are loved, you are loved.
You are loved, precious child. Allow those words to drift into your consciousness as we open with prayer. And as we acknowledge the presence of the one power to guide us, to be with us, so that we know, truly know, that we are loved. And we give thanks for that ever-present Spirit of truth that moves in and through us now. In moments of grief and sorrow, we are strengthened. For God is our strength in every need. We give thanks that the light of truth wipes out the darkness of loss and heals every heart with that love of God that comforts us. Thanks be to God, the source of all blessings. And so it is. Amen. And now I want to invite Denise Christine up to light our candle this morning.
We are conceived into this life with a light of love and peace blazing in every cell, along with a fierce desire to live and a significant number of needs. Then life happens. And that's where the courage comes in. Namaste.
Thank you, Denise. And now, here's Donovan to tell us what's happening at Unity.
I was hoping Paul would play da 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 da. We think alike. Good morning, everyone. And good morning to everyone watching on our live stream. We kind of have some extra announcements today, so I will try to resist going off on any of my hilarious tangents. So, okay, here we go. Please make sure that your cell phones are on silent mode so they don't ring during the service, so you can check that now if you want to. I just checked mine. Prayer requests. If you're in need of prayer for yourself, a loved one, a friend, or whomever, you can place your prayer card in the prayer box in the foyer, right out there in the corner. And for those watching live stream, or if you're not here when you need prayer, you can contact Julia, and her phone number's on the screen there. So take a moment to write that down, if you would. Okay. Tuesday, 7 p.m. The Behind the Lens seminar movie is Naked City. Okay, no tangents. All right. Followed by... So tempting. That's the Naked City, followed by a Q&A session with Tom Blank, and those are always really great, informative, and fun. It's $30 for the series, or $5 each time. Wednesday, the Unity Grief Support Group, facilitated by Reverend Inga Tarantola and Nancy Moreau. They meet in the Garden Room from 4 to 5 p.m. Okay, Foundations of Unity with Reverend Inga from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Going to be busy on Wednesdays. This class is an introduction to Unity philosophy and includes an in-depth explorations of practical spiritual principles, followed by breakout groups. They meet October 25th through November 15th, and that's on Wednesdays. You can sign up on the sign-up sheet out there in the fellowship hall. Alrighty, Thursday, Unity's Elder Council meets in the Garden Room from 1 to 2:30 p.m. Coming Alive Theater Group from 6:30 to 8 p.m. here in the sanctuary. And now we have an announcement from Randy. I saw him. Here he is.
Thornton Wilder once wrote, "There's a land of the living and a land of the dead. And the bridge is love, the only survival, the only meaning. I invite all of you to cross that bridge with me and walk through the Eugene Pioneer Cemetery on campus. I will bring past people alive for you. Through stories, of course. True stories, human stories, stories that affirm life and our love of life. Oh, I'll scare you a little bit too.
Thank you, Randy. I'm intrigued and a little frightened. All right. Saturday, October 28th, we'll have the YFM Fall Festival at Unity from 4 to 6 p.m. Pie eating contest, carnival games, and I'm looking over here. I remember in the past some pretty good pie eating, and they get where they get it all over their face and they smash it down in. So you can come and watch that or participate. There's art, activities for youth and families, bake sale goodies, and more. We do need some volunteers for that. Please see today's handout on how you can help. All right, next Sunday, Learning to Recognize Fear as a Messenger with Dr. Sarah A. Smith and the Unity Board of Trustees. 12:15 p.m., there will be a special congregational meeting in the sanctuary, and that is next Sunday. So that's important. If you want to come to that, you can write that down or remember it. All right, let's see. Saturday, November 4th. We're having the Celebration of Life service for Barbara McKee at 11 a.m., reception to follow. John has an announcement about Thanksgiving this year.
Okay, here's the deal. We, having returned from COVID, we don't quite have the same number of volunteers in our community, and would love to return to having our Thanksgiving Day potluck. But what we need in order to make sure we can do that potluck is to have some people sign up to volunteer to help organize the food as it comes in during that day. So it is the day of Thanksgiving, and there's a sign-up sheet. We need 1 to 2 coordinators and several other volunteers to help with setup and serving. And it's nothing complicated. It's just showing up and laying out the food as it comes in. And we've usually had wonderful crowds for that. But it's been a few years since we've done it because of COVID. So if that sparks a little interest in you to help our community return to that wonderful Thanksgiving Day gathering here, then please sign up to help. And we are waiting for that sign up today in order to know what to put in our monthly bulletin that is going to be printed. If we get the sign-ups that we need today, we're going to put that potluck in the bulletin. So Gina and I are wondering and waiting and hoping that we can have that great Thanksgiving Day celebration. So thank you for your assistance with that. Anything else?
Yeah, a couple more. Thanks, John. And now our choir director, Mo, has an announcement.
The Christmas choir is going to start rehearsing on Monday, November 6th. And I really hope, this is something that, we're going to do the Hallelujah Chorus. And Mary, did you know, a beautiful song and a very fun song that when you accomplish it, you feel like you've really done something great. If you haven't sung it, you need to come and sing. And we will be performing on the Sunday service of December 17th in the morning. And so it'll just be those 2 songs. Rehearsals start November 6th. We do not have a choir rehearsal tomorrow night. We start on November 6th and meet up until we learn those songs to sing on December 17th. So I hope a lot of you will join us for that. The bigger the choir, the better the sound and the more fun and the more confidence everybody has. So do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mo. And now our last announcement, we get to hear from our teens about their recent Unity Camp experience.
Hello, my name's Jim Drews, and I've been a part of the congregation for almost 30 years. For almost 30 years now, and I did the youth group back in the 90s and early 2000s, and I took a break, and last year I started again. And so one of the things that we do for the YOU is we have the kids go to camp, and these are two of the kids. This is my daughter Kira. This is Bella, and they just went to camp, and they want to tell you a little bit about their experience, because I think it's important that you all know what the youth are doing behind the scenes, and these camps really tie the kids together because they meet from all over the Northwest. So anyhow, I'm going to let Kira tell you a little bit about it. Bella is not speaking today because she's a little bit. Oh, she is? Okay, great. All right.
Camp is always a really powerful experience for me, and it makes me so happy and motivated to be there. I love all the speeches. They definitely always make me look at life in a different way and appropriate. Everything around me and everything that I have. I think that camp is something more people should get to experience because it helped me in hard parts of my life and made me more positive and grateful that I have things some other people would kill to have. I'm glad that I experienced this every year for the next 2 years.
Okay, just right there. No, because that's your part.
Oh, is it? Okay. I'm going to miss all of this, but I know it'll help me when I think about it. Even when I'm older, I promise to use what I have been told and taught to my powers and my motivation of other people to feel the way I did when I went to these powerful camps. Do you want to say anything?
So this camp was the first camp I ever went to because Kira talked about it like it was really fun, and I honestly first just went there because the party sounds fun and like the people there, but they had these like really cool speeches that genuinely made me, like, every time that I go somewhere or something, I like take a step back to appreciate what I have, because something that is like so small is like could be literally like a lot to somebody that doesn't have that. And I'm just very grateful that I have a house. Some people don't have a house, and I have my amazing mom and everything that I have. I'm just very grateful for it, and camp definitely like motivated me to think like that.
Okay, that's all. Time for our congregational song.
All right, it's time to rise, stretch a little bit. Let's sing together. This is a call and response that might be familiar to you. You just sing back the words and melody. And you don't even need to read the screen if you don't want to. You can look around because you'll be hearing the words and the melody. So here we go. Everyone is invited to the heart of truth.
Everyone is invited to the heart of truth.
And it's always calling like a song we knew.
And it's always calling like a song we knew.
Long ago when we first came from the heart of truth.
Long ago when we first came from the heart of truth.
And it's always been here in the heart of you.
And it's always been here in the heart of you.
But everything is one when you know where it's from.
But everything is one when you know where it's from.
We're streaming from the one like colors of the sun.
We're streaming from the one like colors of the sun.
From the heart of truth.
From
when you know where it's from.
Everything is one when you know where it's from.
We're streaming from the one like colors of the sun.
We're streaming from the one like colors of the sun.
From the heart of truth.
From the heart of truth.
Right here in me and you.
Right here in me and you.
Everyone is invited to the heart of truth.
Everyone is invited to the heart of truth.
And it's always calling like a song we knew.
And it's always calling like a song we knew.
Long ago when we first came from the heart of truth.
Long ago when we first came from the heart of truth.
And it's always been here in the heart of you.
And it's always been here in the heart of you.
And everything is one when you know where it's from.
Everything is one when you know where it's from.
We're streaming from the one like colors of the sun.
We're streaming from the one like colors of the sun.
From the heart of truth.
From the heart of truth.
And everything is one when you know where it's from.
And everything is one when you know where it's from.
We're streaming from the one like colors of the sun.
We're streaming from the one like colors of the sun.
From the heart of truth.
From the heart of truth.
We're part of it all.
We're part of it all.
The Spirit's in all.
The Spirit's in all.
In the heart of truth.
In the heart of truth.
Right here in me and you.
Right here in me and you.
Oh yeah, give each other a hand. Nice. Well, we are blessed to have Nancy Hops here. And she has been off and on somebody who has flowed into this community to share her wonderful gift of spirit. And she's going to be leading us in a meditation today. And I'm going to move this microphone over to closer to this bowl, right?
I'm going to use this one, and I have a head mic.
Okay, you're good.
I think we're set. Join me, please. Let's take a breath together. This bowl that I'm using this morning is a divine mother bowl. And as you begin to hear and feel the vibrations of this bowl, I invite you to allow your eyes to close if that's comfortable for you. This bowl brings the higher vibrations of the oneness about which we just sang. We are one in the light of God, in the love of God. We are one. And as you feel these vibrations, let yourself listen and feel with your entire being, your whole physical form, taking in these vibrations and allowing them to assist you in raising your vibrational frequency level to the highest level, which is unconditional, divine love. And as the vibrations of the bowl become quieter, let your mind begin to become quieter. And yet also allow and embrace whatever is. I allow whatever is to be. I allow myself to become large enough in consciousness, expansive enough to embrace it all. So much is happening in the outer world, in our inner worlds. Inviting you to take another breath and release. 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 I release into the place of knowing. I release into the place of remembering who and what I am. And so as I play the bowl now for just a moment, let yourself dwell in this place of remembering. Remembering the I am, the essence, the divine love that is who you are. Divine Spirit, guide us as we come home to the truth of our being. Guide us. For this and so much more. We are grateful. And so it is.
We have today 2 offerings, 2 prayers for peace. The first is an Islamic prayer, and the second is a Jewish prayer. And the second one will be sung, but the first one will be spoken from the Prophet Muhammad. O God, you are peace. From you comes peace. To you returns peace. Revive us with the salutation of peace and lead us to your abode of peace. And as we take in our second prayer, we think it would be lovely to end in silence rather than applause. Thank you. That was very beautiful and took me to a place where words sometimes seem superfluous. I actually had a new client come just this past week, and she came in with just a lot of stuff, right? Because there's a lot of stuff happening in the world these days. She just came in and she said, can I just kind of dump out everything that I'm feeling and thinking right now because I just feel like I'm going to burst? And I said, absolutely. I would like to invite you to take a moment with me to just center first. So we took a couple of moments, we breathed. I think I may have used a bowl, I don't remember. We went to that place and quickly shifted into the place of remembering. She opened her eyes and said,
well, I don't feel like I even want to bring any of that other stuff in here into the sacred space. And I said, yeah. And it's kind of like, I'm going to get my notes because I wrote down Denise. Kind of like Denise, what you said. It's life happens, right? Life happens, and that's when the courage is needed. So we renew ourselves by coming together, by coming into this place where we remember who we truly are. And then we go out and life happens, or life continues to happen as we're sitting here. Our minds go and our emotions continue to churn. Maybe we have sensations or pain in our body. Life continues to happen, which is why it is so essential to keep practicing. This is a practice, right? It's a practice of coming into this place of knowing, coming into this place of peace. So, I want to give you just a little bit of background information about me for those of you who don't know. As John said, I've been involved in the Unity community for a bunch of decades. I actually led my first meditation in a Unity church back in Ohio when I was 21. That was a while ago. So, and I've given talks at a number of Unity churches and presentations and stuff, and New Thought churches since then. So I feel a very strong affinity with Unity in general, and certainly with this Unity of the Valley. This is an amazing consciousness, a very special consciousness that dwells here, and I hope and trust that you all recognize that. I feel honored to be sitting here where I am today and able to reflect this back to you. So, I've been in the realm of mind, body, spirit healing, working in that realm, living in that realm, learning in that realm for about 45 years or so consciously, very focused consciously, and also in the performing arts as an actor and singer, and more recently as a playwright. I've played a lot of roles on the stage of life and on the stage here in this area. And I feel really fortunate to have been able to kind of ride that wave back in the 80s. Mind, body, spirit healing was just kind of coming into popular knowledge. I remember I gave a talk at the Sacred Heart. At that time, the local hospital was called Sacred Heart. I taught through the University of Oregon for that decade of the 80s. And I remember when I was first hired, I said what I wanted to do was teach a class. It was called Imagine That, and it was about what powerful creative beings we are, using our thoughts and our minds, our images to manifest, to change consciousness. And back then I felt like I had to be really careful about what words I used and how I said that, so I kept things very pragmatic. And I remember when he hired me, he said, well, I don't know how much interest there is in this kind of stuff, but we'll give it a try. So a decade later, several advanced courses later, and et cetera. So out of that came my career, basically, of my healing CDs, Relax into Healing, doing private client work, speaking with groups. And then around the turn of the, that sounds weird, around the turn of the century, but it's true. Right around 2000 is when I got introduced to sound healing. I was introduced to my first crystal singing bowl, alchemy crystal singing bowl, and I was a goner. I was at a trade show and I was signing my CDs, and I picked up a bowl and I played it, and I don't know, how many of you, were you able to feel the vibrational shift that happens with just a moment of these incredible instruments? Yeah. Since around that time, I have begun integrating sound healing into pretty much everything I do in the healing realms and performing realms. It's just one of the most elegant, expedient ways to shift consciousness level that I know. And right now on this planet, I am very dedicated to doing whatever I can within my own being, first and foremost, and then assisting anyone else that I can who may want that assistance, to raise consciousness level, to remember, as I was saying, I think I never quite remember what I say in those meditations, but about remembering who we are. Remembering, it is so absolutely essential right now that we remember who we are, that we rise above this divisiveness and this, to me, it's a time where it's just an extraordinary time on this planet. I think a lot of us who are here now, perhaps all of us who are here now, signed on for this. And sometimes we're going, what did I sign on for? Right? It's a time of great change, a time of wonderful change in the big picture. But boy, as we go through it, it can get pretty gnarly, right? There are times where it's just, what do I hold on to? All the outer things that used to give us some sense of safety and security, a normalcy, I don't know about you, but that's pretty much gone. And the good news about that is it allows us, it motivates us to go more deeply inward for that sense of strength, that sense of stability, that sense of safety. Right? Because that's the only place where we're really safe, where we really know. So, Einstein, amazing guy. I quote him a lot. And one of my favorites of his is, a problem cannot be solved in the same consciousness level in which it was created, right? And that is such a mantra for me these days, because we look around and in so many ways there seem to be no solutions, right? Sometimes it's overwhelming. Sometimes I cry just with the suffering. And then I remember that, okay, that's outer stuff. And sometimes as humans, we have to have the pendulum swing to an extreme so that we get it. So that we really get it, so that we surrender. If we're just kind of going along la 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 in life, it's easy to keep ourselves occupied, consuming, doing things that keep our minds occupied in a way that doesn't let us really connect with who we are and why we're here. I absolutely believe that we are here in these bodies on this planet to learn what it means to love as an active verb. And then, of course, to remember that as we truly begin to learn how to love, we begin to really remember that I am love. This is who we are. And this is a time where we can begin to let go of all the other things which have divided us. I just recorded a guided meditation that's on my website, and it's called "And the Phoenix Shall Rise," and it was a very clear guided message that I got years ago. Longer story, but anyway, if you want to check it out, you're welcome to. It's about a 15-minute guided meditation. The idea is that things are breaking down, and the phoenix shall rise from the ashes. So I invite you to remember that in times where you may go to a sense of despair or a sense of what's happening and it feels hopeless, at a consciousness level that we have not yet attained, there are solutions. There is great hope. So I was, in my own life, I was busily going through all the motions of doing the sound healing work and the performing work that I was doing, and then COVID came along, right? What a game changer in our personal lives and in the world, and again, I think part of this much bigger picture. So when COVID hit, one of the things that, for me, I finally slowed down enough, and I started having just all this material coming through, and I sat in front of my computer thinking, okay, it's time to write a book. And I started working on a book, and what came through really clearly was, not that book. Before you do that one, you need to publish the one that you wrote in 2009. And I just went, what? Why? So in 2009, I had written a story about what I went through in what I have, after emerging from what I've come to call my cancer chapter. This was back between 1997 and 2006, so almost a decade, where I was very intimately involved in 3 different cancer healing journeys. The first one was my son's first true love, who was diagnosed with cancer at age 19. So I was her primary caregiver and kind of surrogate mom. And then shortly after that, I was diagnosed and went through it as a cancer patient myself. And then I went through it as mom to my then 19-year-old daughter, who, let me hasten to say, is doing well. I have a 4-year-old grandchild. Some of you have seen and met, because people kind of hold their breath there and don't know whether to ask me later or not. So I wanted to clear that up. So my book, I had written this memoir part, and it covers not only those healing journeys, but it also covers other things that I was going through in my life at the time: separation and divorce, huge financial challenges, career challenges, lots of other stuff of life. And I had written about it afterwards because I just needed to write it. I had shown it to a bunch of people and gotten really good feedback, but then I just kind of put it on the shelf and said, okay, maybe I'll come back to this a little later, and life just went, busily on. So then COVID hits, I get this message, you must get this book out there. And I didn't understand it at first, but then as I pulled it out and started rereading the stories that I had written about, I went, oh, okay, I get it, because the gist of that book is about what happens when you get the rug pulled out from under you. Just what I was just talking about a moment ago. What happens when all the outer stuff that you used to turn to, what happens when your own body seems to have betrayed you? What do you do when you need to go deeper, when you need to find that spiritual rudder? So this book is all about that, about the process of finding that spiritual rudder. And so it's also largely about listening to that inner knowing, listening to that inner guidance, because we all have it, right? We know that we have deep, deep inner guidance, but sometimes we just forget to listen, right? Do anybody remember that old, I could have had a V8? Remember that? So, number one, we have to ask for guidance. We have to say, hey, I'm here, I'm open, guide me, teach me, clear me, heal me, use me as a vessel. We have to be open to that guidance. And then we have to remember to listen for it. And then we have to have the courage to act on it, which is not always easy, right? Because some of the things that we're guided to do are not the easy road, right? So in the book, I share a lot about how I grappled with that through these different journeys that I was on. I talk about moments of deep despair and confusion, and how I came to be able to basically choose love. The subtitle of the book is Moving Through Crisis and Uncertainty with Grace, Grit, and Gratitude. So that's what I want to focus on today. So let's talk about the title first. What does that title mean? The title of this talk today, too. All the Courage Love Takes. What does that really mean? So I'm going to, I just did an affirmation in the back of the room before I started that technology is my friend. So we're going to turn this on first. Good, step one. Okay. So this title came from a role that I played on stage, and that role was a Sumerian goddess, the queen of heaven and earth. Her name is Inanna. And this was such a powerful experience for me that I could talk for a very long time about it, so I'm going to rein myself in by reading to you 2 paragraphs from the introduction where I talk about this, so that I don't, like Donovan was saying, so that I don't go off on too many tangents here. Okay, so, and I'm going to try to have show and tell here. So, hey, look at that. Okay. All right, finally, a quick word about the title. Of the many theatrical productions I've been involved with over the years, one stands out in my mind and heart for many reasons, including the powerful healing effects it had on cast, crew, and audience members alike. In Chapter 4, I describe in greater detail my experience playing the title role in The Descent of Inanna. Here, let me simply say that Inanna is a Sumerian goddess, the beloved queen of heaven and earth. So, responding to a deep inner calling, she descends into the underworld to reclaim the cast-out parts of herself. During her classic heroine's journey, she is asked to surrender everything: her title, her riches, her children, and even her own flesh. Ultimately, she returns from her journey and ascends into the light, restoring balance and wholeness, not only within herself, but to the entire Sumerian culture. The culmination of the journey is expressed in these final words, spoken in unison by the entire cast. I am all the courage love takes when it opens our eyes. We're all on our own unique hero or heroine's journeys. Each of us must continually find the courage to take the next step on our path of awakening. Like Inanna, as we heal and transform ourselves, we heal and transform the world. Though our specific dramas may differ, I trust my experience will resonate with you in a way that makes your soul stir in joyful recognition of our shared humanity. May this book and this talk help you find the courage to keep choosing love no matter what, and to recognize with eyes wide open what an exquisitely beautiful, powerful being you are. All right, so we are all incredibly powerful beings, but again, we have to claim that power. Sometimes that can be scary, claiming that power. Sometimes we may want to make the choice to stay safe. So I don't have a theatrical photo of Inanna ascending into the light for some reason, but I do have this photo, which was taken on Christmas morning of 1998. This is my daughter, and this is me opening the gift that she gave to me, which is one of the most significant, meaningful gifts I have ever received in my life, because just about 2 weeks before this is when I had been diagnosed with cancer. We were just about to open our 4th run. We kept doing and redoing this production of Inanna because people resonated so deeply. So Mika, my daughter, disappeared. She was 12 at the time. She disappeared into her room for several days before Christmas. And then she emerged, and I found under the tree this wrapped package. And this is, I don't know if you can tell, but it's little teeny tiny mosaic pieces. It's a mosaic. She cut all these little pieces out of a magazine. And this was symbolic of me playing the role of Inanna, coming fully back up into the light of healing. And some of you may recognize it ended up on the cover of my book. Little did we know, 25 or so years later, that would end up on the cover of my book. It's so funny. Speaking of listening to guidance, geez, I tried so many other covers. I tried so many other covers, and then one day I'm sitting there at our breakfast nook just kind of gazing up, and this has been hanging there for years, and I look up and I went, there it is, thank you. So it's the perfect cover. All right, so what does all this have to do with all the courage love takes? First, it's being aware enough to listen for that inner guidance, right? And having the courage to act on that guidance. So one more quick example for me, very recently in this past week, I wanted to put some notes together for this talk, and I have this book, and you can see there's a few things marked in here. And I had done this marking before my book release, thinking I might want to share some stories. And but I could not find this copy of this book with all these stories marked. I couldn't find it. I looked everywhere. Everywhere. Have you ever been there? It's like, it's there, and the more you look, and you look the same place 5 times going, why am I looking here again? I've looked here, it's not here, right? So I went out of town for a couple days. I had wanted to take it with me. I came back and I said, okay, I'm not finding this. I sat down, I took a breath, I said, okay, Spirit, up to you, please. If it's in the highest good, let me find this book, guide me to this book. I am open. Opened my eyes, remembered that I had moved all the ones from the top to the bottom so that there were now no markers on the top. And I was doing a quick video, and I needed a book in the background, so I set it up on something which then covered these. So I now had nothing showing. But then as soon as I asked for guidance, bing, I remembered that. So I walked down to my client room, and there it was, and it had been in plain sight the whole time, but I couldn't see it. So again, listen to that inner guidance, but first of all, before you can listen, you have to ask for it. Could have had a V8. I could have asked for guidance 3 days earlier. So mundane example, but very helpful, right? Just finding things. In Nana, mega surrender, right? I was in tears every night as I got to the gate. There were 7 gates that she had to go through to surrender. When I got to the surrendering my children, oh my goodness. And then the surrendering my own flesh. Thank goodness for flesh-colored leotards, right? And then Mika, listening to that inner guidance and being guided to create this, what turned out to be incredibly healing for her and for me and for many others now. Mosaic. All right, so I'm going to move on here to, in the work that I've done over the past few decades, I've come up with what I call my 7 bottom line spiritual truths, and they're in the form of affirmations. In the book I cover, I think, 5 of them, and today I want to talk about these 3 briefly. So I have them here so I don't have to crook my neck. I'm aware of this moment of choice. So I want to give you something really simple and really profound to take home with you today. I think these 3 are listed in your program, as I recall. So, for I am aware of this moment of choice. Each and every moment in our lives is a moment of choice. We can choose to respond from a place of love, from a place of compassion, from a place of focused intention, or we can automatically react, as most of us do most of the time, right? We're programmed computers. How many times do you find yourself reacting, going, why am I doing this, right? Why am I doing this? Why am I reacting that way? Why am I saying that? I don't want to. So, point of choice. All right, so if everybody would join me, please, in your non-dominant hand. So for me, that's my left hand. And I want you to take whichever finger, let's say the 3rd finger, and touch it to your 3rd eye. And as you do, repeat after me, this is a moment of choice. Good. Lower your hand, if you would, please. Let's try that again. Hand to the 3rd eye. This is a moment of choice. Good. Lower the hand. All right. You have just established a neurological triggering device. So this will begin to let you raise your awareness level that each and every moment is a moment of choice. So, quick example on this. It again can be mundane or it can be much more profound. Mundane, what do you do when, and I love my dear, wonderful husband who's sitting here, I'm using him as an example, tends to leave wet towels on the floor. So sometimes my first reaction is, how many times have I asked you to please pick up that wet towel? Does he? Sometimes, yes. Yay! Sometimes, no. And so then there's that moment of choice. So I promise you, I use this. There's the towel, deep breath, this is a moment of choice. I could choose to react, and then that opens the Pandora's box for all the other things that you're not feeling real great about this person, right? Or then you can say, this is a moment of choice. I choose love. I choose to remember why and how deeply I love this person. I pick up the towel. I still have gritted teeth. Okay. I choose love. I hang up the towel, and then my life goes on much more smoothly than if I had done choice A, right, and continued to perseverate on what I didn't like, okay? Which doesn't mean, then later in the relationship, whatever it may be for you, you can have a discussion, but never is a discussion most fruitful if you start from that place where everybody's activated, right? So if you can come to that place of centered peace, choosing the higher road, choosing love, then you can have a nonviolent communication about it and perhaps change some behaviors. Okay. So that's a mundane example, and I'm going to read to you from the book a much more kind of the other end of the spectrum. What do you do when you have a moment of choice that is really high stakes? Okay. And I'm going to find where I gave myself the page number. Okay, 262. All right. So this is from part 3 of the book where I give it's the workbook section. It's showing you how to put into practice. So the second example of this point of choice is a considerably more challenging situation in which to make the conscious shift from fear to love. Even having the awareness that you have moments of choice in an extreme situation like this can be a big step. It helps if you've been practicing under less trying circumstances. This example was demonstrated more in detail in chapter 15, but here's the nutshell of it. You received a life-threatening diagnosis. Maybe you're sort of numb at first. Then you're overcome with fears and what-ifs. First, and very importantly, you allow yourself to fully embrace and feel into the gamut of emotions for however long that takes, until the energy begins to shift, and it will shift. Because emotion is energy in motion. And the axiom, this too shall pass, applies here. Emotional energy keeps moving, often much more quickly than you'd expect. There will come a moment of energetic and emotional stillness. In that moment of emotional stillness lies the opportunity to recognize that you now have a moment of choice. You can recreate the feelings of fear, anxiety, and desperation by allowing the same thoughts to circle back around through your mind. Or, in that moment of energetic transition, you can recognize and remind yourself this is a moment of choice. Taking several good, deep, releasing breaths, you touch your finger to your third eye, and to the best of your ability, you affirm, I choose love. By doing so, you give yourself the gift of settling, if only momentarily, into the stillness within. In this space between the thoughts, the pause between waves of emotion, you will be more attuned to your inner guidance, and thus more able to discern and make confident choices regarding the next steps on your healing journey. Note, especially in these most challenging moments, you may want to combine this point of choice practice with a prayer for higher assistance. Thank you for giving me the strength to choose love. Feeling your presence within me, I choose love. I choose trust. I choose peace. Or whatever words feel right to you in the moment. It's the heartfelt intention that matters more than the words. All right. So, I have many, many stories. As you can see, and these are only some of them. So you did all pack a lunch, right? All right. So I'm going to leave it at this for now. I want to share one more screen with you. Because this just happened a couple of weeks ago, and this was just one of those simple but profound reminders. Ken and I had gone to a rock show over in Springfield at Willamette, and Ken went in and I was outside, and this beautiful being on the left here, her name is Dejeuner. She's 12, and Dejeuner came up to me and she said, are you going to the rock show? And I said, no, I'm leaving that to my husband. I'm just out here. And she said, well, I want to brighten your day. I'd like to give you this mushroom. And you can see it's just a little, what's it made of? Selenite mushroom. And she handed it to me and she said, I just like to spread joy. And I just said, can I give you a hug? And I hugged her, and she said, this is a lucky mushroom. You keep this mushroom with you, and it's going to bring you good luck. And I said, Dejeuner, I don't really believe in luck, but I believe deeply in good fortune based on a tremendous amount of love. And you have a tremendous amount of love and light that you're shining out into the world, so keep shining it, and thank you so much. We spent an hour in that parking lot with these people. This is her Granny C. Amazing people. So, another great example that it doesn't have to be a big thing. We don't have to go out and save the world single-handedly. We can just spread joy and love, even and especially in these times where so many of us are finding it difficult to access that. So, all right. So I'd like to end with just a moment of going inward. So I'm going to grab a bowl again and invite you to close your eyes for just a brief moment. As we affirm within our being that I am becoming more and more aware of each and every moment of choice. And I know that there is nothing more important in this world that I could do than to choose love, to let go of the limiting beliefs, the habitual patterns that may be holding me back, to let go of the us and thems in my life, and to come to this place of deep knowing that we are all one. We are all aspects of the divine one. And for this and so much more, we are grateful. Thank you and namaste.
Wow, Nancy, thank you so much for that uplifting and inspiring message. We are truly blessed, and I invite you to share your prosperity with us. If you are a member of our Simple Giving group, then you might have one of these little green cards. It's the easiest way to support this beautiful spiritual community. And there are other ways. You can go to our website or send us a check, whatever it is. We were just given a wonderful gift, a legacy somebody had left us in their will. So that kind of prosperity, I want to share that good news with you. So with that, let us affirm our blessing. divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love and I trust God.
Peace, glorious peace, talking about a peace, glorious peace. Peace, glorious peace, talking about a peace, glorious peace. Let me tell you about brilliance in the moonlight, glorious, brighter than the dawn, brighter than the like a whisper in at midnight, that's been growing for so long, talking about a yearning and longing for sweet peace, talking about peace with my brother, sweet peace, glorious peace. There's a road we've been a-traveling for many a lonely day, like the mighty moving army marching to a place far away, talking about yearning and longing for sweet peace, talking about peace with my sister, sweet peace, glorious peace. Oh, you and me ain't got nobody else except for you and me. All I am is all you need, and all you need is me, is me. When the final page of history is written on the scroll, written on the soul of every kindness measured for his soul. Money that brings you sweet release. Only but what was paid to my brother is sweet, glorious peace. Only but what was paid to my brother is sweet, glorious
So it's time to express our gratitude for all we've received this morning. The beautiful music. Thank you, Mo and the choir. Yes. Yes. So let us bless these love offerings, for we are truly grateful for the many, many ways in which we are blessed. And we carry that blessing forward to share with the community beyond these walls and also within. For these and all blessings, we are truly grateful as we go forth in our day to shine our light and know that we are loved. And so it is. Amen. Thank you, Bev, for those lovely flowers. Her garden seems to have no end of those lovely flowers. And for all of those who are newcomers, I hope that you've received a newcomer packet and will join us in the fellowship hall afterwards at the table with the sunflowers. And we have some chaplains with us this morning, I do believe. I see Bev with her stole on back there, and Andy. These are folks who'd be happy to sit with you and pray on this side of the sanctuary. There's also the service of lights that you're free to help yourself to light the light for someone that you hold in your heart. And with that, let us sing our peace song.